This video is made for learners with visual impairment of the Philippine National School for the Blind. Welcome to the world of science. Today we are going to talk about the nervous system. Please listen carefully as we discuss the important concepts of this lesson. Can you touch your nose? Hawakan ang iyong ilong. Touch your nose. Can you raise your arms upward? Itaas ang inyong mga kamay. Raise your arms upward. Were you able to follow? Great job! Thanks to your nervous system. The nervous system is the control and command center of our body. Presented are the major parts which include the brain, which is inside your head, the spinal cord, which extends from the bottom of your brain to the end of the backbone or spine. And lastly, the nerves, which look like thin wires that spread throughout your body. This module is a 3-part lecture video series. We are going to discuss the functions of the nervous system, the basic unit of the nervous system, and the divisions of the nervous system. Let's discuss the functions of the nervous system. The nervous system is involved in receiving information about the environment around us and generating responses to that information. The nervous system can be divided into regions that are responsible for sensation or sensory functions, and for the response or motor functions. Ang ating nervous system ay responsable sa pag-interpret ng information o pagbabago na nangyayari sa ating paligid. Ito din ang dahilan kung bakit tayo nagbibigay ng reaksyon o response sa mga nangyayari. However, there is a third function that needs to be included. Sensory input needs to be integrated with other sensations as well as with your memories, emotions, and learning. These regions of the nervous system are termed integration or association areas. The process of integration combines sensory perceptions and higher cognitive functions such as memories, learning, and emotion to produce an appropriate response. Ibig sabihin, hindi lamang simpleng pagtanggap ng impormasyon at pagbibigay ng aksyon ang ginagawa ng nervous system, kundi ito rin ay nire-relate o kinokonekta sa mga dati na nating natutunan sa ating mga memorya at emosyon. So, let's further discuss each function. The first major function of the nervous system is sensation o ang pagtanggap ng impormasyon about the environment to gain input about what is happening outside the body or even inside the body. A particular event in the environment that elicits a response is also known as stimulus. We have the senses that we all know, the big 5 senses na alam na nating lahat. We have the sense of hearing, sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of touch, and sense of taste. So these 5 are all senses that receive stimuli from the outside world and we are able to perceive them consciously. The next function of the nervous system is to produce a response based on the stimuli perceived by sensory structures. An obvious response would be the movement of your muscle, such as withdrawing a hand when you touch a hot water, or touching your nose when I asked you to. A response that is not needed to be thought out is called a reflex. It is an automatic response to a stimulus. Listen to this example. A girl touches a hot pot of boiling water on the stove. What would be her response? These are her possible responses. First, her hand quickly moved away from the hot pot. Secondly, she rushed to her mom to help her wash hands with running water. Let's look at the first sentence. Can we analyze her response? Her hand quickly moved away from the hot pot. This is an example of a protective reflex. Ito ay isang halimbawa ng protective reflex. She withdraws her hand without actively thinking about it. The heat stimulates temperature and pain receptors in her skin, triggering a sensory impulse to her brain. Agad na umiwas ang kanyang kamay nang hindi na ito pinag-iisipan. Ang reflex na ito ay isang automatic response ng ating katawan upang protektahan ang ating sarili bago pa makarating sa brain ang mensahe na nasasaktan ka na. Now let's look at the next sentence. She rushed to her mom to help her wash hands with running water. Now that she is hurt, she consciously runs to her mother to help her wash hands. Ibig sabihin, alam niya ang kanyang ginagawa. She knows what she is doing. Therefore, this is a voluntary response. How about involuntary responses? Involuntary responses are responses that you cannot control. For example, she may have felt nervous which caused her heart to beat fast and her hands to sweat a little. Her increased heart rate and sweating are her involuntary responses. The last function that we are going to discuss is called integration or association. Stimuli that are perceived by sensory structures are communicated to the nervous system where the information is processed. This is what we call integration. Sa madaling salita, hindi lamang simpleng pagtanggap ng impormasyon at pagtugon ang ginagawa ng nervous system. Ang mga impormasyong ito ay atin ding pinoproseso. Stimuli are compared or associated with other stimuli, memories of your previous stimuli, or the state of a person at a particular time. This leads to a specific response that can be generated. On the video is a boy who is asked to throw a ball as far as he can. He hears the instruction and would need to respond. However, based from his past experiences and memories, he already knows that he needs to step and swing his arm backward to throw the ball far. Sa video ay pinakita ang isang batang lalaki na naghahagis palayo ng bola. Kung walang integration na nangyari, maaaring inilaglag niya lamang ang bola pagkarinig niya ng utos na dapat itong ihagis. But he will not automatically drop the ball because he understands that in order to throw the ball far away, ay kailangan niyang bumuelo. He needs to step a little back and swing his arm backward for him to throw it forward. So his brain integrates the instruction to what he already knows. Therefore, he will give the correct response. We may not notice, but just like you associate stimulus to certain events. For example, did you hear the school bell ring? Pag nagring ang bell, you know that it is lunchtime. Pero paano kung continuous bell sounds ang inyong narinig? Alam niyong ito ay hudyat ng fire drill o kaya ay may sunog talaga. This is because your brain already integrated the stimulus to certain events. That's why you are able to know and give appropriate responses to that stimulus. So again, we have learned about the three major functions of the nervous system. We have sensation, response, and integration. If you understood the lesson, you may proceed answering the practice exercises in your module. Our next lesson is the basic unit of the nervous system. Thank you for listening and watching.